I had the pleasure tonight to attend the reception held at the Meridian House in Washington, D.C. To honor Ambassador Joan Polaschik, the current director of the Foreign Policy Institute with the U.S. Department of State. The occasion was to welcome the arrival of a number of foreign ambassadors who are commencing their careers in the nation's capital as the representatives of their nation accredited by the American government. The event was significant as it was dominated by the exchange of pleasantries and good feelings. Very good ideas and perspectives were also discussed and emphasized. Here is my report on this lovely event from the Capitol Show.
Council, thanks to all the corporate council members that are here, and to Ecolab for supporting the reception. So if you join us for a moment.
First, I have to start by thanking Stuart and the Meridian team because the work you all are doing is more important than ever. And I think that while we're here to support the ambassadors, you won't find better friends than Meridian. Of course, we have our friends from the State Department that you'll lean on, but please do feel free to lean on all of the corporate diplomats in the room. I would include myself in that category. So I just want to start by just saying, first off, this is a beautiful gathering, even on such a rainy day, because I think that we're all gathered here today, not just to uplift you, but we understand the mission that's before us. We're here to welcome the chiefs of missions, of course, of various distinguished embassies, and you're representing your countries, and you're sacrificing, as are your families. And so, can we give them a hand? I was chatting with my friend Calvin, who's been on the road for the last 3 weeks, but you all are on the road for years. And so it doesn't go unnoticed that this is a difficult but an honorable job. So thank you for serving. It's also especially nice to be amongst friends. And friends are more important than ever anytime you turn on the news. But I do believe in this room in particular, we all share a common ambition, whether you're here representing a corporation, a country, or any type of community. The important thing for us to feel united about today is we all want to make the world a better place. And whatever position you're holding in your companies or your organizations, we all have the power to do this. And so if we're all working to make the world safer and more prosperous for the generations to come, those people that we don't even know their names, I think that that's why partnership is so important now more than ever. And I am fortunate to work for a company, I will brag a little bit, Ecolab, where I get to work every day about just trying to make the world a better place. And we do that through partnerships. We do that through partnerships with some of our amazing customers who look at climate objectives and trying to operate cleaner and more efficiently as a way to be more sustainable and be more profitable. We operate in more than 170 countries. And so the importance of us being here is because we know the importance of the work you do, and we also know the importance of the work that Ambassador Polaschik does. So since we cut across over 40 industries, we know that what we need to do is to educate. Because most people don't understand the importance of water. Because it just rained today, many of us have never turned on the tap and not had water come out because we're that fortunate. But everything that's vital is connected to water. But what most people don't understand is 10% of the total global greenhouse gas emissions come from the use, the storage, or the distribution of water. Yet too often, the link between water and the use and energy output is overlooked. And in fact, it's a tool. So we at Ecolab are passionate about helping businesses and other key stakeholders, educating them on the importance of this. but also helping them understand that reducing water use, you're also going to reduce energy, and you're going to reduce carbon emissions. And we also work to make sure our customers are more profitable, which is also key. So a lot of this education is what makes me really proud to introduce our speaker today. Because while she's had a very distinguished career serving at the State Department, Ambassador Joan Polaschik is, of course, as Stuart said, the director of the Foreign Service Institute at the U.S. Department of State. I started my career there, so I know very intimately the importance of your work and your team. And as a career member of the Senior Foreign Service Office, she's also been ambassador of Algeria, as Stuart said. But I would say that maybe your most lasting legacy will be training not just the current, but the future leaders for generations to come. So please join me in welcoming Ambassador.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that very warm introduction. And a very special thank you, of course, to Ambassador Holliday for inviting me to be with you today. Your Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends, it is a great honor and joy to welcome these newly arrived ambassadors to Washington. I hope that you and your families are settling in well, and that you're not only finding the professional connections that you need to be successful in your work, but you're also finding friends and a sense of community amid all the demands of your very busy jobs. And as someone who grew up here in this area, I can tell you that Washington is full of all sorts of wonderful things that have nothing to do with politics or diplomacy. So I hope you'll be able to get out and enjoy them, and also have the chance to explore all 50 states. Because as you know, getting to really experience the country where you're privileged to work is just such a tremendous joy of diplomacy. So if you'll indulge me, I'd like to share a few thoughts about the importance of diplomacy, our shared profession. As President Biden so often says, we are at an inflection point. One era is ending, a new one is beginning, and the decisions that we make now will shape the future for decades to come. Rarely have we seen such a multiplicity of complex, interconnected challenges. It's clear that in this world of rapid and far-reaching change, no nation can go it alone. For this reason, diplomacy is at the center of U.S. foreign policy. We've prioritized re-engaging, revitalizing, and reimagining our greatest strategic asset, America's alliances and partnerships. As Secretary Blinken has said, we're working with purpose and urgency to deepen, broaden, and align our friendships in new ways so that we can meet the three defining tests of this emerging era: a fierce and lasting strategic competition, global challenges that pose existential threats to lives and livelihoods, and the urgent need to rebalance our technological future and our economic future so our interdependence is a source of strength, not vulnerability. We're doing this through what Secretary Blinken calls diplomatic variable geometry. That means we start with the problem that we need to solve, and we work back from there, assembling the group of partners that's the right size and the right shape to address it. We're intentional about determining the combination that's truly fit for purpose. And as Secretary Blinken always reminds all of us at the State Department, these coalitions don't exist in a vacuum. Creating and strengthening any one group brings capabilities that can be used across America's vast network of partners. And the more coalitions we build, the more we can find new synergies between and among them, including ways that we might not have fully anticipated. And together, the whole becomes much greater than the sum of the parts. So this might explain why our newly arrived ambassadors are going to be very busy. But on a more serious note, this also explains why our relationships with all of you, our new colleagues, matter so deeply. I hope that you will consult regularly with the State Department, and not just on the issues that are of traditional concern to our bilateral relations, but also on these transnational issues that are reshaping national security. We need new strategies and new partnerships to find solutions to these challenges. We deeply welcome you as thought partners, friends, and allies in making sure that the decisions that we make now, at this inflection point that President Biden so often references, are the right ones, as they will shape the lives of generations to come. And if you'll indulge me just a little bit longer, I'd also like to say a few words about the role of training and professional development in shaping diplomacy. Over the last 2 years, the Foreign Service Institute conducted a benchmarking study with many of our counterparts, foreign diplomatic training academies, including Singapore, other U.S. government training academies, and even the private sector. That study revealed that we're also at an inflection point in how we need to prepare our diplomats to deal effectively with the challenges of today and tomorrow. It was remarkable to see how many of us are grappling with the same challenges. How do we prepare diplomats to advance their country's interests in these issues that are redefining national security? What do diplomats need to understand, for example, about climate, global health, and emerging technologies? What are the best ways to convey that information? How deeply should we rely on virtual or asynchronous instruction to do so? And what does artificial intelligence mean for all of this? Can technology one day do the training for all of us? Our benchmarking study also revealed that just like the overall U.S. approach to diplomacy, we need to re-engage, revitalize, and reimagine our partnerships in the field of diplomatic training. We all face the same challenges, and we'll all be able to find solutions if we work together. To that end, in partnership with Canada, the United States Foreign Service Institute has launched an international community of practice. Through this community of practice, we are organizing expert-level, peer-led gatherings that tackle hard questions in the field of diplomatic training and help us all identify and share these best practices. So, Your Excellencies, I invite your diplomatic training academies to please join us in this endeavor. And if you'd like to hear more about this international community of practice or simply learn more about what we do, I invite you to visit our campus. Actually, all of you, you're very welcome, to visit our campus in Arlington, Virginia. We love hosting our counterparts, and we're especially grateful if you or your colleagues have time to speak with our students. What better way for a U.S. diplomat to prepare for their future assignment than by hearing from that country's ambassador? So in closing, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that this year marks the centennial of the U.S. Foreign Service with the passing of the Rogers Act of 1924. In marking this anniversary, we not only commemorate a century of diplomatic excellence, but we also recognize the Foreign Service's profound and positive impact on U.S. relations with the rest of the world. Over the past 100 years, the Foreign Service has served as the backbone of American diplomacy, forging enduring partnerships and fostering cooperation across boundaries. As we look ahead to the next century, we aspire to grow stronger, more effective, and more agile, all while fostering meaningful partnerships. This evening is one small but important example of this enduring commitment to diplomacy that we all share. I'm so proud to join you all in the important work of building partnerships across nations to create a more secure and prosperous world. So, Your Excellencies, welcome once again to Washington. Best of luck, and thank you for your service.
We're 5 minutes away from cocktails. But I just wanted to say, Meridian does a lot of things. We work with the Diplomatic Corps. We're also a very serious policy organization. We have an initiative on space diplomacy on April 30th, a forum here, which is going to look at that question. All of the great work of the staff is really manifested in this mission-driven work we do, both with the State Department, our corporate partners, and our generous supporters. So I'd like to just, we are paging, if you see them, the ambassador of Slovenia, the ambassador of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the ambassador of Micronesia. I think I saw them all here earlier, unless they made the, oh, there he is. You gotta come over here. They made the proverbial Washington exit, where you spend 5 minutes seeing the host, and then you go out the back door. I'm glad that you all are still here. But the ambassador of Micronesia, His Excellency Jackson Soram, welcome. His Excellency Yusuf Amrani, the ambassador of Morocco, welcome, sir. Her Excellency Al-Zain Al-Sabah, the ambassador of Kuwait. We have Her Excellency Brigitte Talazar, is that pronounced correctly? Sort of. Give it to me. Give it to me. How do we? Tajla, the ambassador of the Netherlands. That's very important. Her Excellency Jacinth Henry Martin, the ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have.
Now you get this difficult.
All right. So kudos to the staff. They do the phonetic pronunciation. They didn't used to do that until I embarrassed ourselves. Her Excellency Jovita Nili Upshin. Shin. All right. Well, you have to correct the record. Jovita Nepshina. Was that the ambassador of the European Union? We have Ambassador, of course, I know Lou Tuck Yu, that's easy. He's a huge baseball and football fan, the ambassador of Singapore. We know him quite well. And the ambassador, Sabri Bukadum, is that?
It's easy, it's okay.
Bukadum, the ambassador of Algeria, welcome. So thank you all for being here. If you all will remain up here just for a quick photo, that would be great. And please enjoy the evening and thank you.